All right, we're rolling.
Mic check.
Mic check or a mic drop? All right,
Rolling?
We're rolling. We're here at the Rock the Market event.
Why do I keep saying rock the biz? Is that a thing?
I don't know, man. Maybe you're getting it confused with Biz Marquee back in the day, you know?
All right.
Rocking the crowd. It's pretty good turnout. Apparently nobody's selling houses. They're all at this event.
Yeah, clearly. Or maybe they haven't woken up and still having their coffee.
Bro, I've been here since 6 a.m.
This is Florida.
I'm on my 6th cup of coffee.
You know it's Florida. So
I
people
know.
are like, just
trying to
getting by.
wake up. Well, so let's
Not
talk
get
about
by.
this.
I mean, waking up.
Let's start with this conversation because we're both from New York. We both relocated down here. I've been down here 11 years. You're what? 2 years? 3 years?
1
year. One
Yeah.
full time.
Yeah.
So you kind of had your foot in though for a couple of years.
Half in, half out. Yeah.
What's the biggest difference you see between New York and down here?
Business-wise, in general, or just in general?
In general.
In general, I think people are happier here.
Okay.
For sure.
Okay.
It's hard not to be.
Put
when
that in the
weather's-
win column.
When it's always sunny and beautiful.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, it's a general disposition is better here for
Yeah.
sure. Business-wise, I would say, I think it's become very similar, right? When I used to come visit down here, you would see a different mentality, a little bit more relaxed.
Mm-hmm.
But I think that so many people have migrated down here from out of state,
Right.
and you have a big mix of New Yorkers, West Coasters.
Yeah.
So you have this mix, and now it's very similar to the feel of New York. I feel like it's not much of a difference. It's not, it's not what people would think the
I agree
stereotypical
with
way.
you. No, 100%.
It's not. It really is similar.
I will tell you this, and outside of business, right? Because not everybody that's watching this can relate to business statistics and real estate sales and everything.
Mm-hmm.
But here's what I'll tell you that everybody can relate to. When I first moved down here 12 years ago, I would get into an elevator. And let's say there was 8 people in the elevator. 7 of the 8 people were only speaking a foreign language. I was usually the one who was speaking in English. I was the 8th person.
Mm-hmm.
Now you get into an elevator with 8 people, and 6 of the people are speaking in English, and 2 of the people are speaking in a foreign language.
Sure.
So just by that alone, it shows that how in the past 10 plus years, we've seen the whole entire market down here kind of morph into a market more representative of the United States as a whole instead of just another Latin American city.
Sure. And I also think, people look at Florida or South Florida from afar and they kind of group it into one thing. It's really not. I mean, you go down here and there's a very distinct difference between even Miami and the rest of South Florida.
Correct. Yeah.
Right? It couldn't be more different.
Mm-hmm.
Right? When you go from Miami-Dade to Broward to Palm Beach, I mean, you're talking about a drastic difference in culture, in lifestyle, in business, in everything.
We laugh when we talk about living in Miami Beach. We always talk about how, all right, when you go to Fort Lauderdale, you need to stamp your passport because we feel that Miami. We've seen a lot of memes online where people are like, oh, you're from Florida? Like, no, I'm from Miami.
Yeah.
Miami is literally its own culture, its own state. It's very
Sure.
different.
Very different.
Miami Beach is very different. Brickell, it's amazing. It's very much like New York in this aspect where, you can go from certain neighborhoods in New York City or Brooklyn or whatever.
Borough to borough, yeah.
Yeah. You go from Brooklyn to Queens and you know the difference right away. You go from Brickell to downtown to Miami Beach to Aventura. It's completely different.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, we're not bringing it back to New York thing, but if you ask someone that's from Brooklyn, hey, where are you from? Their reaction is not, I'm from New York, I'm from Brooklyn.
Yeah,
it's kind of wrapped in their identity. So I think it's happening in South Florida, and it's been like that for a while, where you see a very distinct difference in the counties.
Yes.
And then obviously as you get deeper and deeper, even more specific.
Let's change gears real quick. What do you think is going to happen? Interest rates have been up for the better part of the last year plus, and now we're steadily over 7%. What do you think? What's your prediction? What do you think is going to happen?
Well, I got to be honest. I'm staying away from speculation on interest rates because I've been wrong so many times, and I think that's the best way to do it. If gun to my head, what do I think is going to happen? I think they'll come down towards the end of the next quarter, so end of the year.
Okay. So you think that the upcoming election is going to have any effect?
Yeah, sure.
On what's happening?
I think when it comes to something as broad as rates, it's never one thing,
Yeah.
right? It's a multitude and a mix of things. And then there's also things that are unforeseen.
Yeah.
So who knows what will happen in the next quarter? But I can see it stabilizing out and then ultimately taking a dip, which I think is a crucial inflection point.
Yeah. Where do you think we need to see rates in order to see some sort of stimulus in the market?
I think there's two tiers to that.
Okay.
I think if you see rates consistently over at least a couple of month period of time stay in the low sixes, you'll see a big bump in production, and I think it's also going to cause purchase prices to increase because the demand is going to skyrocket given where the inventory is.
Right. Yeah.
And if it drops below 6 and you start seeing 5s, I think you could potentially have one of those situations where you see the COVID type market, maybe not to that extent, but sort of, reminiscent of that, where you're seeing people waive inspections, waive more contingencies, where it gets a little crazy.
I've read the same thing, and a lot of people have analyzed it and said, you have a lot of financial professionals that are saying we need to see rates, go down to 5%. But then if you see rates go down to 5%, we're going to see an explosion in purchase prices, which then is going to negate the rates dropping down because, okay, if your mortgage payment at $500,000 is where it is right now, and let's say interest rates drop down, but purchase prices explode, your payments, you're going to have a 5% interest rate, but your payment's going to be the same as that 7%.
It doesn't help you, yeah. I think we're seeing a lot of people have issues because of the affordability factor, right? They're not willing to trade in their 3 for a 7.
Yeah.
Which is understandable.
Right.
But to your point, if it goes down too quick and it makes purchase prices go up too fast, you have the same problem just with on the different end of the spectrum, meaning it's a purchase price problem, not an interest rate problem.
Correct.
But you still have a problem.
It's a problem either way.
You need some sort of balance, and you need some sort of stability. The sharp increases and decreases, I think, are what mess up and what really deter people from getting in or out.
Yeah, 100%. And you know what's going to happen, though? No matter what, it's almost like we're in you're damned if you do, you're damned if you don't, right? If you don't buy now, okay, you're probably going to see if rates right now are hovering around 7, right? So let's say rates drop down and you bought at 7, you're going to be like, oh my God, I can't believe I didn't wait until rates drop down to 5. But if you don't buy now, what if rates go up to 9 or 10%? Which when I first got in this business 20 plus years ago, I was selling rates at 9.9%, paying points to get that rate. The par rate was like 11%.
Sure.
So where are we at?
Yeah, no, I think people will always have that hindsight and they're going to be kicking themselves.
Yes.
I think you got to look at it from a different lens, right? The main thing is affordability. If you can afford it, and then what I always like to say is not only like mathematically and financially can you afford it, but are you emotionally ready to take that step to become a homeowner? Because it's a big deal, right? It's a lot of responsibility. So if you're ready on both those fronts, then take the plunge.
I'm ready to take the plunge. On that note,
take the plunge.
Make sure you tune in.
Kick yourself in the head.
Yeah,
because you didn't do it.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah. Mike, how can everybody find you online? Let's give our Instagram handles and stuff.
Sure. The Instagram is at Mike_Goldberg. Right. That's the best way to get me on social, and then my cell phone is the best. So I'll put it out there: 917-642-1462. And we'll throw the email on the screen.
Yeah, we'll throw the email up. We'll throw up your headshot. We'll throw up your loan officer page for Movement. Thanks for watching. It's the home team powered by Movement Mortgage.
That's good, right?